Once again, I am welcoming you to the class 3 of our week 1 on AI and productivity hacks for urban development and GIS professionals. And today's class will be hands-on GIS and AI mapping bootcamp. It's the class 3 of our week 1. All right, so let's move on. What we'll be achieving today is that we'll be seeing how we use QGIS confidently. If you're on your PC, you do not have QGIS, you can quickly install one now because we're going to be using QGIS as our main tool today. We're going to be seeing how basemaps work with spatial layers, how we identify spatial layers, how we can identify boundaries and all of that. And if we're going to be having problems, maybe there are parts that we do not understand or is quite confusing, we're going to be using AI to solve those problems. We're going to be using same AI to turn maps into written reports. Thereby, AI is going to enhance what would otherwise take us weeks. It will help us enhance it to take us within minutes or few hours, and we're done. So these are the things we're going to be learning today. And the tools for today is QGIS, Google Earth, and any GPT of our choice. Last time we spoke about a lot of GPT. We gave examples, a lot of examples on GPT. Some of us are already familiar with GPTs. And if you are not familiar with GPT yet, you would want to visit our previous classes on YouTube and watch. Our main tools again today will be QGIS and Google Earth. As we move on, if you have questions, you may want to ask me. I'll gladly explain. Don't mind the screen. The screen is a lot clumsy, but I am trying to put it so much that we can glean a lot of it as much as we want. All right. Let's look at the GIS fundamentals. Many of us are already familiar with the fundamentals of GIS, but what we want to achieve today is basically a recap. And for us that are complete beginners in GIS and urban development, this is going to sound very, very helpful to us. You may want to take notes as we continue, but let me quickly explain what layers are, because we're going to be dealing with a lot of buzzwords that sounds like layers, vector, raster, points, lines, and polygons, coordinate system, and base maps. Layers are a slice of geographical reality of a place. For instance, in a given neighborhood or a given area, there are a lot of features there. A lot of features. You have roads, you're going to have buildings, you will have land use, you're going to have rivers or waters of body or bodies of water. Those geographical features, where you're going to be representing them digitally, each slice of it is a layer which you're going to be putting together to form your base map or anything you want to do online. So layers are used to organize. They're the fundamentals that is used to organize and display or visualize geographic data. So if you want to visualize your geographic data, or you want to organize them such that they are easily readable, then the fundamentals you use is called layers. All right, let's move on. While vector and raster, there is so much similarities between them, but the major difference is that while vector is a discrete feature, like it is used to represent discrete features, raster is used to represent continuous surfaces or continuous features. So vector uses mathematics to define geometric shapes, like using the x and y coordinates, uses coordinates x, y to define geometric shapes. If you are coming from the design field, you will understand vector derived from raster. For instance, if you're talking about SVG, standard vector graphics, you see how sharp they are because they use mathematical formulas to define edges, to define their shapes. So for instance, we're talking about illustration. Any sort of illustration, any sort of SVG is a vector data. I'm talking from design field now. But when talk about raster, it is used to represent any feature, say world or a map, that has a grid of equal size cells that is called pixels. So if you have a digital photograph, for instance, or you have a JPEG image, each square is your raster feature, is a raster data. So it uses grid of equal sized cells called pixels to represent a feature. All right. Everything you're seeing on screen, for instance, if you have if you take a picture, if you take a picture and you have it on your screen, it is mostly a raster image. The base maps you are seeing down there, they are raster images, right? And you're going to see the difference here between this and this. While all of these are called layers, you can see the different layers in the features. You can identify them. But this, you can see the points, you can see the lines. That is what makes it a vector, because it uses coordinates to identify the features there. Well, this is raster. These are the boxes. These are the equal size cells called pixels that is put together to form the feature that you are trying to visualize. Now we'll talk about points, lines, and polygons. They are the features that is used to represent your vector image. If you are going to be representing your vector features, all of this put together will form your vector image, or it can also form raster. So this is points, this is lines, while this is polygon. So when you have a basic feature of a place, a point, that is a point data. That's a point data that then you are going to have lines. The lines will definitely be the lines. Excuse me, please. Okay. So the lines are used to represent features that are continuous, while polygons is used to represent features that have a closed boundary. So that is why you have your points, lines, and polygons. I can identify each of them. So when you have your lines and polygons your points and lines together, then you're going to have a polygon. When you're going to block it out, then they can form your raster or your vector image if you want. They are the geometric types that make up your vector data. They use mathematical coordinates to represent the real-world objects with distinct boundaries. All right, let's explain the coordinate system, which is the mathematical framework that is used to define exact location of a feature within the Earth surface. Where you are sitting or standing or lying down right now, there is a mathematical formula for it, a mathematical feature for it that is called the coordinate system. It is represented in numbers within the X and Y coordinates, or you can say longitude and latitude. You can see them in the image here. Without it, different layers of data that you have would not align. Even if they represent the same area. For instance, you are in the same area and your bottle of water beside you is in the same area. Both of you are in the same location. But if there is no coordinate system, then on that surface, if you're going to be visualizing it on a large scale surface, it is going to be seeing it as you are in different locations or scattered location. So that is the idea of coordinate system used to locate exact features on Earth surface. All right, let's move on. Now, we're going to be talking much more on basemap today, because basemap forms the basis or the foundation of our geographic context. So if you're going to be talking about map, or you're going to be doing anything on map, basemap is the context, is the basis on which all your layers will be layered upon. Without basemap, there is nothing to visualize. There is nowhere to place your layer so that you can easily visualize it on a large scale. So it is the visual reference that you put your operational data layers. For instance, you have your road network, your flood zones, your topographical layers. It is on this base map you layered everything. We are getting hands-on now. For some of us that does not have QGIS on our systems, what you want to do now is quickly take this time to download QGIS. And if you have, I want you to open QGIS. So some of us will be sharing their screens and we're going to be working together. So if you have QGIS already on your system, I want you to open it right now. We're going to be having, if you're looking to spell QGIS, I just put it in the in-call message so you can see the QGIS. Are we all opening one already? QGIS. It's quite simple to load, so just load it up already. I'm trying to my QG so that everyone can see it, but I think I'm having that issue. Okay. Mm. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen now. Can see my QGs now.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you so much. I have to share my entire window right now. So if you've been able to open your QGs, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you've been able to open your QGs. Thank you so much. I can see some of us already on QGs. If you're having issues downloading QGs, let me know. Just give it a thumbs up if you're having issues downloading QGs. What's why you're having issues downloading QGs? Go to Google. I'm going to show you how you do it. Go to Google.
I understand.
Okay, you have it. I said if you're having issues, give me a thumbs up.
No.
All right, all right. You can mute your mic right now. Okay, it means that many of us already have QG, so you can see the screen right now. Now, what we do now is let's quickly do one or two here right now. for many of us that are complete beginners, let's load a base map. That's the first thing we do. When we load the base map, and then we can save, and we can then begin to do the styling and everything. We're going to look at special data, identify features, save, and make a map today. All today. It's going to be very, very easy, and you like it. Okay, so quickly go to projects. Once you open, before doing anything, go to projects, come to save as here. Then what you want to do is to create a new file on the desktop. Okay, and name it your projects, QGIS projects. Let's say new. I hope you can see my screen. Let's see project QGIS learning projects. Right, and we're good. Open, and that's why I decided to name it as. You can decide to name it the way you can remember. I put mine on desktop so I can easily find it. Then I can name my file as GIS Bootcamp Week 1, and I'll save. Good. Okay, so I have my recent projects open here. Now I'm going to be working on this. Let's load basemap next. I'll look for XYZ tiles, which is here on your browser. On your browser here, your browser on the left side of your screen. Come to XYZ tiles. Click on open street map. You can either double click or right click and say add layer to projects. Now you have your base map on your screen. This is your base map. It's called Mercator, which we're going to be explaining later on. There are different types of base maps, but this sort of base map is Mercator, derived from OpenStreetMap. As you zoom in using control and to control zoom it, you can use control and the rubber on your mouse, or use double finger on your mouse track. You begin to see features like boundary appearing. Those are the features that we've explained later. Those boundaries are drawn as polygons. You can identify, I don't know where you are in the world, wherever you are, go to your country. I'm in Nigeria, so I'm going to zoom in into Nigeria right now. If you're in India, zoom into India. If you're in Pakistan, wherever you are, zoom into your country, go to your region where you are, and try to identify your neighborhood. Try to identify your neighborhood. I want somebody who is not in Nigeria to tell me what country they are in. If you're not in Nigeria and you're on this call, tell me what country you are in. Or if you are not in Lagos. Okay, wherever you are, I need two people to tell me the region they are. If you cannot talk, you can drop it in the in-call message. Drop it in the in-call message. Let me see. Wherever you are, your location, whether you're in Lagos or in Gujarat, you are wherever, just let me have it in the call section. Somebody put in something. When Kosola, your hands is up. You want to say something?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So I'm first to take you back, but I don't understand how the XYZ cells. You said with the open street map, I did already, but I'm not getting.
What do you not get? Come again, kindly.
So when I open the street map from the XYZ, it's not bringing me any boundaries or anything, because I don't understand it. I can't hear my screen, but maybe we should go back so I can see how you did, because I'm following your steps for mine.
All right, no problems. I'll do that. If you are going to be using your screen, for you to be juggling between two screens, you may want to join with your phone as well. Join with your phone so you can follow what I'm doing on phone while you are using your screen. That will make sense, and it's going to make it
with my phone, because I have to sorry, I have to log that from one. I'm using one Gmail, so I can't
Okay.
and I cannot join. So I have to log that for one. Or what are you saying? Like I should cancel this one, then join with my phone.
No. I'm saying that you can log in with your phone and your PC. So while you are working on QGIS on your PC, you can be following me on your phone. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So that you don't have to be switching two screens to see what I'm doing to do what you are doing as well. That will make what you're doing very, very easy for you. I hope you understand me. But anyways, I'll quickly go back. As you're on call, I want you to tell me the location you are in. If you're in Lagos, Ikeja, wherever you are, let me see where you are in the world so I can know how you're following me. All right. Okay, so I'm going to remove the base map. So if you have any layer in your layer panel here, then go select following. If you have any layer, you can easily remove the layer if the layer is not what you intended to load. What you do is you right click and you come to remove layer. It's here, you right click and you remove layer. And okay, now we do not have any layer on the canvas anymore, the map canvas. This white screen is called map canvas. This white space or map canvas. This is where everything you're going to be doing will be. Everything you'll be doing. This is where it will be. All right. Now I'm going to be adding OpenStreetMap. If you come to your, I hope you're using the. If you come on your browser, can you find when you go select? Can you confirm if you have browser on your?
I have browser on my
If you
screen.
scroll down, browser, pass Postgres, pass Oracle, you're supposed
If
to
I
see
see the
XYZ.
open street map, I've seen
You've seen OpenStreetMap. So all you want to do is to double click it and it is going to appear in your layer here and you have it on your map canvas. And you can easily zoom into your
I'm not yet. You said I should double click, which I did. But when I do that, I'm seeing metadata, I'm seeing preview.
you're seeing Prince Review.
I'm seeing preview, I'm seeing metadata.
Would you be kind to share your screen so I can understand what you're doing? What you're saying? Would you be kind enough to do that?
I'm coming. Sorry,
You're in a meeting.
okay.
Yes, but no one lesson.
So this is the
Matthew,
Yeah,
I got it already. Thank you.
you got it right. All right, we should move on, right?
Okay.
Olayinka Damola, your hands is up. Your hand is up. You've got questions.
Yes, good afternoon, Matthew. So
That's
sorry to interrupt.
that's
Your
okay.
network, yes, you have a network issue. So there's a break. There's a break as you're speaking. There's a break. I think that was one of the reasons why Oyin could not hear you properly. Probably
Okay.
should just change your environment or something, or the network. Sure. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I hope you understand and you're following.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
I'm following you. I'm following.
thank you so much. All right, so we should continue right now. We have been able to load our base map and we've been able to zoom into our location. If you are still having issues zooming into your location, you can let me know in the in-call message or also drop your location so we can together find it. All right. So I'm zooming into Lagos, and as I'm zooming into Lagos, you can see different layers that are in the base map, right? You can see the lines that we've talked about. You can see the polygons. You can see the point features that we've talked about. Everything layered there in the base map. All right. Now let's move. Let's see what we can achieve with what we have here. Let's create a project right now. Let's create a project. This project is where everything we'll be doing will be inside that project, where everything we'll be doing will be inside that project. All right. Now come to project here. I hope everyone can hear me. Don't know. I think I'm having network issue or something.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you so much. I thought I'm the only one on call. All right, so what we are going to be doing now is that we're going to be creating, we've been able to create our projects. Now we want to create our features. We want to create our point layer, and we're going to be adding points, adding polygons, and creating boundaries as well as lines. Now, let's come to layer. What we want to first create now, we want to first create our point feature, right? So come to layer and come to create layer and new geopackage layer. If you're having issues with anything, let me know, right? You come to layer, create layer, and new geopackage layer. When you click, there is a 3 dots beside file name. What you want to do is to quickly put your file name. But since you've created your project file earlier as we started, you want to locate the the project file, click on the 3 dots. You know where you saved it as, right? So you come to desktop. Remember the name you saved it with, and you named it. So let's name it as how can we name it? Let's say week one underscore class 3 underscore data class 3 data, right? And it's okay because it is going to add the extension geopackage data by itself. So we don't have to add the extension. We can click, it is, remember, you have to put it in the QGIS learning, like in the folder you've created. It has to be inside, right? So you click save and you're good. It will automatically rename it for you, and that is for the table name that it will be creating on the attribute table. It will rename the attribute table for you and create the file name. All right, and now you can tell us what geometric type. It's in points is good because we're starting with that. A new field, you want to name your new field. What do we name it as? Points of interest, right? Because we are creating points underscore of underscore interests. We are looking for our points of interest. That is what we're going to create. Let me mind my case. It doesn't really matter, but I'll still mind it. And we're leaving it as text string. The type will be text. It's okay. Add to field. That's next. We've been able to add to field. Then you click OK. Now relax, chief. Because we've added to field. Now you can see in the layer that our feature, our class data is already added to the layer. This is where all the layers you have, this is where you will find everything. You can easily remove any layer by clicking, by right clicking and remove layer. That's it. All right. Now we want to really, now we've created the feature, but we want to add it to the map. What do we do now? There is a button here. It's called toggle editing. You want to click it. You are telling QGIS you are ready to start editing. That is the idea of this pen. You are basically telling QGIS you are ready to start editing. Then you're going to click on add point feature. You are seeing this button because you have created this points data. So you're going to be adding your points feature. Now let's see where we are going to, what's our point of interest here? Let me look for a point of interest. Let me look for an area that I can use as my points data, and I'm going to create it as a learning center. This is Eco Atlantic. It is a very, very beautiful edifice being built by the Lagos State government and other private investors. I'm going to be using part of this, and I'm going to be using this point here. All right, or I'll use anyone. I'll click on this. That is add points feature. Remember, we first clicked on this. If you do not toggle your editing, this will not appear. So you have to click on this and then you have this. And now let's locate our point, right? So this is our beautiful point. I'm going to click on it and the pop-up features will come up that tells me to rename my point feature, which I'm going to name as my training center. I'm going to assume that we are having our training here. You know, you have to remove the auto generation line unless you are happy with the auto generated name for it. So I'm going to rename it as our excuse me. Okay. Let me rename this as training center. Right. And I'll click OK. I can as well rename it if I want to anything I want. All right. But since I'm done with this, I click OK. And you can see that I can click as many points as possible. I can take this one too and rename it as, let's say, roundabout. And click OK. I can take another one and say, and click this. I don't know what this place is, but I'll say it is a mall. Okay, basically, I think I'm good with this. Now let's look for bus stop. Let's see how much we can rename here. You can see all of these points data here. So I think there is a jetty around here. Okay, we just take one more and we move on for time's sake because we've got a lot to learn. Let's see what happens here. This is an hospital, so let's rename this as hospital. All right, hospital. Okay, enter. I can take one more. Don't know what happens here. This is fine. If you're following me, let me have your thumbs up kindly. Can I see a thumbs up if you're following? Have you got questions yet? Okay. Thank you so much. Now we can save our edits. We've edited so much, so we can save it. Just click on this disk icon here. It is going to save. It's saved already. All right. Now let's create our polygon or boundary. You can as well create line if you want. You can create anything you want to create is the same way. Remember, if you want to create anything, you come to layer here. You know, as soon as you save, you'll find that it's this like your cursor changes here. So you can come to layer here, create new layer, your package layer, just the same way we've been having it, all right. And you still locate the same way, the same place here, and rename to one week one class 3 data. Now it's JPG, it's underscore class 3 underscore data, and it takes it. All right. So for us to be able to determine, we need to give it a name that that separates it, so we can have. You understand? So now we've got. Now we can check our geometry type. What are we creating? Polygon. If you are creating lines, you pick line. If you are creating polygon or maybe multi-points, whatever you want to create, you pick here. But we're creating polygon right now. We are still leaving the coordinate system, but we can change the coordinate system if you want, depending on the area you are, wherever you are in the world. Excuse me.
See, I'm done with the point. How do I save it? I've been trying to let you know.
What? Excuse me, I didn't hear you.
I'm done with the point or the point. How do I take it?
Okay, you're done with the points. Good. So if you are done with the points, you find that, excuse me, there is a disk here. You can easily use Ctrl S on your keyboard. It's very fine. Use Ctrl S, it saves. But if you don't want to use Ctrl S, look at on your taskbar here. There is this save project icon here. If you hover on it, I don't know if you can see my screen here. It's after your new project, open project, then save project. That's where you have it. Click on it and your file is saved. Simple. Are you here? Hello? Oh, did you copy?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, you have saved it.
Okay, all right. Now let's move on. So we've not been able to add our file. I think we didn't complete it. I cancelled it. So I'm going to recreate our new layer, create a layer, new geo package layer as we have it before. You can easily use Control Shift N if you want. Control Shift N is create new geo package layer for you. So have it there, Control Shift, and that's the shortcut. Let's create again. What do we have? Click one underscore class 3 underscore data and save. Right. Geometric polygon, geometry type polygon. All right. Like I was explaining, we explained the coordinates. So wherever you are in the world, if you're using the wrong coordinates, you're going to be having issues when you are importing maps or you're adding features that is peculiar to where you are. It might be shifting. So you want to ensure that you are using the right coordinates. The coordinates we have here is EPSG 4312. Can we get? We can use projected CRS or we can use the default CRS, which absolutely makes sense. I am in Nigeria. What I want to use is HandsOn 3. Can use the projected or the CRS coordinate system, that is the coordinate reference system. I can use either of them. But I'm going to be continuing with the default CRS, which is basically universal, right? Then I'm going to rename. What are we renaming as? Let's see. We are renaming as community boundary because we're creating a polygon. I want to identify some community underscore boundary. Let's see. We are still using our text. That is our type. You can see all the type of features that you have: integer, decimal, date and time, Boolean, binary, JSON, string. It depends on what you want to do, but we're using text, right? And I think we should add this to the field. And okay. Okay, it's telling me that we already have it before. I didn't complete it, so but let's overwrite. Let's overwrite it. Okay, we won't overwrite. All we should do is add as a new layer. Yes. So now we have our boundary as a new layer. Simple. Now let's create our polygon. Where we creating the polygon on. We want to identify the equal-Atlantic boundary, and we can add more points if we want. So let's identify the boundary of equal-Atlantic, the Atlantic city. So go editing, add polygon feature. Now we're going to start clicking on points, and then we trace until we trace around all the boundary. Let's start from here. You won't mind, I may not be extremely accurate. This is for training, but in your own way, you want to be very accurate. so that you don't cut out proposed land or add to it. It's going to cause a lot of troubles, litigations and all. I'm going to trace around Ahmadu Bello Way, Blue Water Corporation, until I have my desired boundary. All right. I think all of these parts are still part of Eco Atlantic City. Okay, and I'm going to be adding the water body, which should, I believe, form part of the boundaries. And once it suggests end of the boundary for me, cutting across the water boundary. So I'll just add right click, use right click to complete the boundary. What do we have? Community boundary. Let's name it. What are we doing? Eco Atlantic. Eco Atlantic City. Let me just add. Let me just make it community boundary. Community underscore boundary. Okay. Now we've been able to create a boundary for Eco Atlantic. We can go on to style this if we want, and we can save it if we want. Control S, we save it. Very easy. What have we learned already? We've learned to use QGIS to visualize based to create point features, to create polygon features, draw boundaries, identify places on the map. We can continue further to style this. Let's style this. Double click on this feature. Is you bring out the styling the layer properties. If you double click on it, to bring out the layer property, and you can do whatever you want to do with it. You can change colors or unit or the opacity that it appears so that it can be visible. Let me move it to the side so you can see what I'm doing. Let me decrease the opacity. If I save it, the opacity will be reduced. Let me show you. If I click OK, okay, you can see the opacity, it has reduced, but that's not all we want to do. Let's see, let's go again. All right. Let's change the color to outline, or we choose something bright. This is the color here. We can choose fill color. If you've got questions, let me know. The fill color has changed, right? And we can decide to not use any color or reduce the transparency altogether. If we say fill style, we can say this is how we want the fill to be, or to be dense, and increase the opacity again. All right. So you can see that I'm doing so many things here. In GIS and urban development, the styling is quite different. Depends on how you're doing. So if you are working on land use, for instance, there is a basic understanding of the styles you should use. For instance, if you are identifying residential land uses, you should mostly use between yellow and deep brown, depending on the density of the residential. If you're talking about commercial, you should mostly use blue. If you're talking about industrial land use, you should mostly use purple. If you're talking about agricultural land use, you should mostly use deep green. And if it is recreational, it should be light green. If you're talking about water body, it should be blue. That is deep blue for rivers, lagoons. And if it is ocean, it should mostly use pale teal or sky blue color to identify ocean or seas. I hope you understand. So those are the color codes in urban development. But in GIS, you can basically be liberal with your styling. But just make sure it is reasonable, and it appeals to intelligence. Okay, so what else are we doing? You can choose the stroke to include dash line. It depends on what you want. And also it says that there are a lot of things you can continue to play around with this, but for sake time, let me click OK. I think we're good for now. I'll take this up and click OK. Now see what you've got. Very beautiful. You can see what is underneath, yet we have not been able to miss anything. Okay. Questions? Let me know if there are questions. We're not done. We're almost done. We're almost there. But let me know if you've got questions. Anybody trying this and something is not working for you?
I'm not doing it. So I want to do things so I can do my own. Because I can't be going back and forth to do them.
Okay. Okay.
So when I'm
Anybody? Yeah. Okay. All right. Anybody else on the call wanna tell me something missing? You're not getting something. Okay, we should move on then. If you're having issues, maybe perhaps your layer has disappeared, it's very, very easy to find it. All you have to do, you see all of these buttons, they have what they're doing. You can use this to zoom in and zoom out. If you want, this is your zoom out on any location or on any data, and this will zoom in, it will zoom out. And for instance, you use a scroll button and you can't find your scroll feature. You can easily, there is one of the buttons there that is called zoom to layer. You find it somewhere around there. It's called zoom to layer. It zooms back to the layer that you are working on. Let me look for it for you one by one. You see, this one zooms to selection. Whatever you selected, it zooms to it. If you selected anything, this one zoom to layer. This is the zoom to layer. This is zoom to selection. All right. And all of these features, we're going to be learning them one by one later on. But remember, we're going to be looking at how we use AI to enhance our workflow. What we want to do at the end of the day, what we want to achieve at the end of the day today is we want to be able to create spatial data and be able to create reports, planning reports that is easily usable for planning decisions, for any decisions that is going to be affecting the people, so that even a layman will be able to read the report and understand places that you have identified in the map. Thank you very much. And now let's move to our next so the next thing we're going to look at today, let's see what we've been able to achieve today. We've been able to create new point layer, we've been able to mark a training center, bus stop, market, and we've been able to save the layer. Now we'll move on to creating our area boundary, which we have already created. We've created and draw boundary around our community. We've been able to label the area. We've been able to add styling, and we can even calculate the area. Now let's go to simple urban analysis. Simple urban analysis. Oh, it appears that I didn't show you how you can calculate area and how we can. So this is very, very easy. This is where we use AI to come in. So perhaps there is parts that you miss and you did not get. You can easily use your AI to do these things yourself. Okay, let's have it this way. I'm going to open a new tab. What AI am I using today? Okay, let me use Grok. There's a lot of them, but let's use Grok. Then this one too is very, very beautiful. created by XAI, and according to Elon Musk, it is truth-seeking. So let's see what we can achieve with this one. What we want to do is that we want to see how we can measure boundaries, and how we can measure boundaries and style layers. Let's see what we've not achieved before. Okay, we want to add labels and calculate area of a boundary. All right, so we'll start this way. Since most of us are beginners and we're learning, I'm going to structure the points such that Grok understand where we're coming from, and then it will be able to help just the way. I am a complete beginner in GI. What's going on? I am a complete beginner. It's not a beginner. Okay, I think I'm right there. Hold on my keyboard. Is everything fine? In GIS, all right? And I am learning to create a, what's going on? Okay, I'm no longer using Grok. I think there's witchcraft on Grok. Let me use ChatGPT. I think that's where our love has been. I am a complete beginner in GIS, and I am learning to create maps and identify spatial features, and also create spatial data. First off, kindly explain. Remember to put kindly in case AI Google won't be the first person they will look for. Kindly explain to me, how I am going to measure boundaries and also add labels to my features. Make your returns concise and very helpful. Enter. Now let's see the magic that happens. Now AI will simply, oh, I didn't tell AI what tool I'm using. Okay, you're supposed to tell AI here that you're using a certain tool. So it is very, very easy. You can see the points we've created, the sort of boundary we've created, and these are the steps used to create your new shapefile layers. It will give you easy, one by one, how you can calculate, and it is very, very easy. The first thing to use is your attribute table, and you pick the area that you've created, that is the boundary, and use field calculator, and then you get your expression. It's as simple as that. All right, we are moving on. Now let's look at simple urban analysis. Simple urban analysis, what are we looking at here in urban analysis? As an urban designer, as an urban developer, as a town planner, as a GIS analyst or GIS expert, you are expected to create a compelling and intelligence field and data-driven analysis for a certain area that you've been entrusted, right? So what we want to identify today is dense zones. We want to identify open spaces. We want to identify access roads. There are different layers of roads. There is the highways, there is the express, there is the access roads. And we want to be able to export our maps. I want to be able to create reports with our map. I want to be able to write a short planning report based on the map that we've created, and we want to see the results. We want to see the results. All right. So let's start with a simple urban analysis, identifying areas and being able to tell or even labeling them. We're going to go back to QGIS and continue from there. Or better still, let's use Google Earth Engine to identify areas, and then we can then come back to create a screenshot of those places in our Google Earth Engine, and then we can get them on, find a way to identify them on QGIS, where we're going to create a map export and then use it in our report analysis. All right. So I'm going to present my entire screen so you can. Someone is trying to join the class. Let me admit them. Okay, here we go. We have a Google Earth Engine here. Now in Lagos, we're going to identify. Now, looking at this now, we can see this sort of satellite imagery that is used, this sort of base map. This is a satellite imagery, and you can see the features, the point features and the boundaries and the layers. And you will be able to identify and tell that there is a lot of greenery in this region. And you see these patched areas, these are built up areas, while these ones are quite not so developed or rural areas, because you can see that it is identified in green, shows that there is a lot of bush. So these are the analysis. There's a lot of forest or green area there, untouched places. But if we see these places that the roads are converging, then you are going to be having like maybe a metropolis, or you're having a full area where it is already developed into maybe an urban area, a metropolis, or a city. Right. And let's see, this is lagoon. It is easy to identify this body of water here. It is very, very easy to identify this body of water. And then as you zoom in into these built up areas, you can locate you can see what is going on. You can see what is going on here. So what happens? Let's see what we can identify from Eco Atlantic to this place. You can see how dense this place is developed, how dense this place is developed. So you can easily identify the markets, the residential neighborhoods, the industrial area in all of this place. And you can see the port city here. You can see the ports. This is Badagry. You can see how much of it is still underdeveloped, not developed yet. So this is simple urban analysis where you can go to any place and then pinpoint and create and analyze your maps there. It's as easy. I'm going to come back to our QGIS and what we want to do. What we want to do is identify more that we have here. What happens there? You can see that there is an activity here that is not existing on the same body of water. So perhaps this is a fishing area. So all of these are all these grass that are always on water. So you have something here. There's something else going on here. This place is the University of Lagos. It is an institution. That's right. You see it's marked as yellow, and it is developed from the surrounding area. You can see the road network, the third mainland bridge, and this is the ferry line connecting Lagos Island to Ikorodu to Lagos mainland. Places like that. And if you continue inland, you will find the airports in Ikeja. And you can see other institutions. This is Yaba College of Technology. I see the built-up areas here. And you can see this football field on University Road. I think this is a farmland. I don't know what this is, but so this is simple urban analysis. You have the National Stadium here. So in a given neighborhood, you'll be able to identify landmarks, you'll be able to identify things that are going on in a certain area, and you can use it to create a report on activities of the people in the area. You'll be able to tell the population density from the residential areas you can identify in the given area. You should be able to tell the prevailing occupation or the sort of amenities or infrastructures they are having in that area. And from there, you can create a detailed report, advice on what the government should do or what individuals can do. It is as simple as that. Creating detailed reports using what you have in the map and reporting it. If we use the one we've created here, we'll be able to identify what is going on in the Atlantic, that it is a water city and there is a lot of activities going on, construction activities going on. It is not a fully developed area yet, because we can see from here, if I can hide this by clicking this map, I will hide it. And if I zoom in, I'll be able to find that there are a lot of plots that have been earmarked here, but not sold or not developed. So we can see that these parts are developed, but some are not even developed at all or still left untouched. But all these plots are already subdivided. Some plots are not yet subdivided like this. So there is still not plan on this place, but the roads are complete. You can see the road network. You can see the community area. The community area. This is a community area. It is already earmarked there. And you have the subdivided plots. You can see the cul-de-sac. And you can see the circulation, the water circulation, that is for people that wants to use water. And it is also a canal, because in this community, each area is supposed to be using, the idea is that each area is supposed to be using a central sewage system, like I explained last week, and also a central water system where everything comes in. So if they have sewage, they will process it through their bioprocessor. If you chance to see the master plan of this place, you find that an area here is already marked for bio waste, and for water purification, and for sewage, central sewage collection. All right. And this one is to make sure that you see this canal here is to make sure that the whole thing does not sink in water. Because if the water is eating from here and from all side, this canal will help break the barrier, the water barrier, so that the effect is not much, and then there is enough buffer for it. That is the idea. You can easily do simple urban analytics using the maps that you have. Now we've been able to identify open spaces and fields developed. We've been able to identify the main access road. I think this is the main access road coming from Lagos, from VI, that is from Ahmadu Bello Way. This is the main access road, and this road links to every other route, as well as this is also the main access road. What is it called? This is the Co Boulevard. That is the main access road, and others are the minor access road. You can see how beautiful it is, well planned. Now let's add some zoning features here. Let's add some zoning features. We should be able to identify commercial area in this neighborhood. We should be able to identify commercial area. We should be able to identify open space, and we should be able to identify road network. And we're going to do that with points, with point data. All right. So let's use point data, and then we'll now label. Okay, we still toggle, but we are going to be creating a new point. Or let's use this class data. If we use this class data, which is our points, we can create new points. Okay, let's identify this as road and put it road. That is the Co Boulevard. All right. And let's put open space. This place is supposed to be an open space with what we do.
Good afternoon, Matthew.
Good afternoon.
Please, and on getting your point, did you right click on it, or
I just clicked on this because I've created this point data before. I just clicked on it.
okay?
All right, thank you. Shall we move on then? Okay. So I'm going to make this open space, since it is meant to be an open space, I guess. So it is an open space, and I'll say this is a dense zone. There is no dense zone here, but I'll say built up. I'll use this place as a built up area. There is a copel tower here, so I'm going to say built up area. Full stop. Okay. Now we've been able to identify these places. Let's bring our labeling out. Let's make the labels visible. Simple. I hope you understand how I got it. So all the points that we've created, you can easily find them here. So if I put back this boundary, you'll be able to tell the extent, you'll be able to tell the extent of this neighborhood. And we can as well identify, we can as well know the boundary of the size of this area, but we've been able to tell AI to do that. So this is what we have. I hope you understand. Is there any question yet? Any question? Okay,
No question.
I guess everyone understand. Now let's take a screenshot of this. Let's take a screenshot of this. We're going to be needing it. Let's create a screenshot. I'm going to be using my snipping tool. I'm going to be using my snipping tool to create a screenshot of my, okay, before I do that, let me identify the neighborhood. Let me, so that my AI can understand what I am doing. Or I can use zoom to layer if I want. Okay, good. I have this. Control copy. And where am I going to next? I think I'm done with this. Let me return my screen sharing to this. Okay. Now let's create a simple report. What I want to do, I've been able to create simple reports. So now we want to tell ChatGPT to help us in order to avoid creative block. We are going to give ChatGPT some prompts and paste this screenshot here using Control V. Then let's put the prompt. The prompt is what we want to achieve is to create a report of what we have done and then put it in Google Docs so that we can format it. It's as easy as that. Let's tell the GIS, the AI to do this. You are a GIS expert. Okay, GIS and development assistants, experts. Okay, let me use assistant, not expert, because we are supposed to be the experts. So he's our assistant. It is our assistant. I created this map with on a community boundary polygon. So you identify, I said I call this built community, but it is our Eco-Atlantic. Then the points, we identify the points too. We identify each point. Let's see what we named the political, the boundary as QGIS. Okay, the community boundary. Let me bring out the labeling. Okay. Community boundary. That is the name. It's called community, named as community boundary. All right. Then the points. What are our points? We have more, and we have let me check. We have training center. Or training center. Open open space, built up area. What else do we have? I think we have main road. Main road. Okay, I think that's very fine. Then I think we have did you have the end zone? I think we didn't, but that's all right. That's all right for now. What we want to tell the AI to do now is to tell it to write a short professional planning notes. I don't need more than 200 words. 200 word max. Describing one, what the map shows. Someone's coming. Someone's okay. Someone's hand is up. Angela, your hand is up. Got a question? I'm listening. Angela, your hand is up. Okay, you're following. What the map shows. So we are trying to see what is inside the map. So key observations. Oh, battery low. Excuse me. Okay, key observations. What are the observations? Dense area, commercial area, access area, circulation. Whatever observation, all observations you want, open land, built up area. I think that's fine. Okay, and number 3 is simple recommendation. All right, because this is very, very important for field verification. This is very, very important for planning action. This is very, very important. We want to tell it to use to make your return concise with full information. Use bullet points and a short conclusion. Okay, I think this is very nice. So let's tell it to run something for us. If you are following and you want this, you can copy these prompts. If you want me to paste this prompt for you, I can. Just identify, just tell me if you are following. Who's following? Onyekosala, you want the prompt? Okay. I'll paste the prompt in the in-call message. So you can just copy and paste the prompt. I'll paste it in the in-call message. All right. Okay, there we go. You can copy the prompt if you want. Now, here is our planning notes. What do we have? Let's see what we've been able to observe. What the map shows, a defined community boundary polygon covering the Eco-Atlantic corridor. The key map features include mall, training center, built-up area, open space, main road, and roundabout. The observations is dense of built area. Development appears concentrated around the central corridor, which is true, particularly near the mall and built-up area. Motunga, are you trying to speak? Motunga, are you trying to speak? Then you have commercial concentration, you have access and circulation, you have institutional placement, you have open land and waterfront edge. So these are the ideas, these are the things, these are the observations that AI has been able to conjure for us, and this is very nice. Recommendation: conduct field verification to confirm land use intensity and traffic flow patterns along the main road. Because if you look at the main road, you see the way traffic flow using you see the arrow. That arrow is the guiding, is what guides you to understand how traffic flow. So if the arrow is pointing to the left, that means the traffic is flowing towards the left, and if it is flowing towards the right, that means the arrow is flowing towards the right. It's as simple as that. Assess open space utilization and development pressure. Then undertake coastal vulnerability assessment for long-term resilience planning. So for those that are planning or that are planning to build in that area, this is a very nice recommendation for them. And it sure is going to help the urban developer, you as the geo AI expert, to make a lot of money, because you're going to be giving them real-time information that is based on what you have. All right. Now, what do we do? Let's make this a proper planning note. I'm going to copy what I have here. I'm going to copy this and I'll open my docs. Let's see what we have. Okay, I'm going to use the worksheets that we've been using. I hope everyone did the assignments. You're going to share the assignment as soon as we're done with this class. This is the week 1 class 2 assignment. That is the last learning journal. The assignments, AI report, Google Docs link, and you're supposed to create a portfolio. I hope you've been able to do that. So let me create class 4. I will name it class 4. The 1 class 3 reports. Okay, and I'll paste. So AI will automatically paste it for me. All I want to do now is to ensure that my input is there. I'll remove the traces of AI so that it looks legitimate. These are all marks of AI. That's the first thing. Then I can work on my grammar if I want. Now let me start rearranging planning notes. This is my planning notes. I'll bring this indentation down. Then I'll reduce the indents here. Sorry, I'm gonna put this one here. Okay. Okay, single. Let me remove the spaces before, the space after, so that both of them. Okay, then I'll remove the space here. Space before paragraph. Okay, good. I have this. Now, what does the map show? You have this now. Remove the bold here. Control B to remove the bold.
Nothing. Are you telling us something? I do to this ChatGPT.
Oh, sorry. I've actually been doing so many things. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I've not been sharing. I just shared. I hope you can see this one now. So what I did is I opened a new document. Let me start again. May not be getting it. Okay, you can see my screen now. Can you see my screen? So what I did is I copied it to new documents. I open documents here and I locate our worksheets that we've been using. We've actually been using this. Okay, I've created this before. Sorry, I'm going to paste it. It's as simple as that. Okay, and then I can re-edit now easily. I'll remove these simple traces because if you put it on Turnitin, everybody can see that you use AI. All of these things, they are all marks of AI, but that's fine. Let's make it a little humanly. Then I'll bring down my orientation here. I'll reduce the, I'll remove this, remove the spaces before and after because I want these two to meet. I'll remove the space before here. Good. I have what I need. It is not community spatial overview that I want. I want to name it simple spatial analysis of the whole Atlantic city. Simple. Okay. Then remember that I haven't saved the map before, but I still have it in my screenshot. So I'll still copy the map. I want to bring the map so that everybody can see the map. Okay, Control V. Okay, so I have the map here. I have the map here and everybody can see the map. All right, very, very nice. What I want to do now is that I also want to bring in satellite image of Eco Atlantic City so you can see it as we want. Then I can caption this if I want. I want to caption it so that everybody can understand what this map is for. If I right click on it, it will either tell me to replace icon or paste without formatting or delete or image options. So what are my options? I can even insert links if I want. These are more. Okay, let's see image options, size and rotations, adjustments, alt text. This is, so you go to alt text. So the alt text will tell you to describe the image, a map layer of Eco Atlantic showing open analysis features and boundary. Full stop. So anybody, okay. Map.
Max, correct
Yes.
your layout. You write
What do you say?
a map later of a hotel.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll adjust that. Okay, I think this is good. So you see our alt text is there. I'll close this. So I've been able to add captions, which is going to be there. Now let's see what the map shows. A defined community boundary polygon covering the Eco-Atlantic corridor. Key map includes, I remove the bold here, and should be. Let me change this one to just map features. Map features. All right, there we go. We have the mall, we have the built-up area. Key observations. Here are the key observations, developments, water edge. So now let's go to Google Earth Engine to bring in more images of the Atlantic. Let me share my screen so that you can see what I'm doing. And that's fine. Okay. Okay. Let's bring in this image of this community area. You can bring in satellite imagery. I'll use my screenshots. If you can't find the screenshot, it's name snipping tool. Use search to search for snipping tool. Snipping tool is going to bring it out. It's used to take screenshots of imagery, and then I can take the screenshot of this place. Okay. Let me add the credits. So this is the satellite imagery, and I want to zoom out to see the Eco towers. This is the Eco towers. I can take more screenshots of it, but let me first use these screenshots. Oh, my screen is angry. Hello, can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, my screen is hanging, I think. Okay, so I've been able to save while my screen responds. I've been able to save. I can take more screenshots on Google Earth Engine and export and bring them to the documents and save the document and export it as a file if I want. And then I'm going to name it as my map observation. Okay, good, we're back. I'm going to name it as my map observation. Okay, let me add the image here. So this image is working for this one. I'll caption it again if I want. Let me come back to Google Earth Engine to capture this image of this built-up area, which I'm going to call built-up area. Okay, all of these are not so built up. This is the most valuable of them. Is the most built up area. Okay, good. I think we have this. Let me take a screenshot of this. And I'll add it to this piece. Simple. So we've got image and you can caption everything, including your recommendation. You have made a simple planning report using your AI, Google Earth Engine, and QGIS. Now let's rename this. Okay, let's rename this. You should rename it as a map observation report. Let me rename it. I'm going to bring everything that is here so that I can rename it. Let's now bring it in and Control V. I'll rename it as our map observation reports. Map observation reports. So I've added it as a subtract of it. And what do we have? Very beautiful reports that you can export and show anyone or add people to it. You understand? This can form basis of what is called our portfolio as well as presentation. Is this clear? Do we have any question? Anybody, Mutsun, Olamide, anybody with questions? Do you have any question? Even if it is on screenshot or anything, let me know. Anybody?
I don't know if my system can do the screenshot or anything.
You don't think your system can do screenshots?
Yeah.
No, your system can do it. You're using a Windows system, right? If I'm getting your message right. So if you want to get the screenshot, you click on Windows tab and you type snipping tool, and that is the first thing you see, snipping tool. Snipping tool, click on it, and it will bring out the screenshot something for you. It's as simple as that. All right, no more questions. All right, let's move on to the assignment part. I think we're done with this course for today. So here is the assignment we're going to do. We're going to create a map of your LCD or your neighborhood. Create a map of your LCD or your neighborhood. Identify landmarks and areas of interest. Use points and polygon. Use polygon for your boundary. Use lines to delineate the route, and use points to delineate to mark the areas of interest. Maybe your malls, your schools, your neighborhood. In fact, you can even identify multiple neighborhoods within your neighborhood LCD. You understand? You're going to export the styled map. Export it, not screenshot. Export it. Style it. You style the map. You put the label. You put the label. You're going to add color to the boundary, and you reduce the opacity so that everybody can see what is beneath it. You mark all the features and then you export it. And then you create an expanded report with satellite imagery of your subject area and your areas of interest, just like the way I've done it. Make it expanded report, make the report very rich with images. Make it a planning report. Identify risks and values in the areas. Create a legend of all the features, like all the features you've identified. Create a legend and use icons or imagery to represent each feature so that your something will be very helpful. And then you create a Google slide presentation. Use Google Slide to create a presentation with your reports. So you are like presenting the reports that you have made. Use Google Slides for this. All right. Is there questions with the assignments? Any questions with the assignments? No questions. That means we all understood. Musab, you've got questions. Okay. Since there is nobody with question, then I'll be expecting you in the next class with the assignment. But the assignment we did the last time, who have done the assignment? Anybody here with the assignment?
I've submitted my disease.
Okay, you submitted yours. Let me open it here. Okay, can you open it? Can you open it and share? Can you share your screen?
Let me see if I can share my screen. Am I sharing my screen like this?
Yes, share your screen if you've opened it.
After you call, you good, but I can't connect you. Not good. Is there now?
I'm coming now.
That's okay.
I can't see, just check. I can't hear my screen. But check. If you have to see me, I can't do it.
You know, Onikosula, this is very, very beautiful. You've created a very beautiful design portfolio. So you are a designer, a tailored designer, tailored by Kiki, and see what you've produced. Very, very beautiful. I have one or two to say. You know, we've got a lot of these cards, but we want to see more of what you have done. Yes, these are there. A collection. Good. Perfect. Nice.
Because I created like lots of collections. So I just put one or two together and everything.
Yes, yes. This is very, very nice. I think I like what you've done. And your CTA is there. This is very, very beautiful. This is very beautiful and it's very, very creative.
Thank you.
Yes, but you want to do away with some of the buzzwords of the original creator. You know, you use the template, so you don't want everybody to know that.
I didn't use any of write-up. I used the template, but I didn't use any of the write-up that the main person used. I
See what
used
I'm
my
showing? Abu Davis is still showing here. Unless you are crediting Abu Davis.
except this, except that one. But
That's
instead,
the so you want
all
to
the write-up, all
make
the
that it's clear.
signature, everything, I did it myself.
And then perhaps you want to listen, hold on. Perhaps you want to switch the orientation of this image so your face can show. So if you flip the orientation to maybe the left, then your face will be able to show here on this side. You understand? So those are the things we want to ensure. But above all, this is very, very beautiful. Thank you so much for this. This is very nice. Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else who have done the assignment? Okay, since it's only Owen that did the assignment, I think so nice. I hope the next assignment all of us will be
I
able to
did
do.
it, but
So
not brief. Just change some things, not as she
share
did her
what
own.
you have. Let's see. Share what you
Okay.
have. Let's see.
Okay.
Share your screen. Okay. Okay, Musa. Okay, this is very nice. Yeah. You're still working on it. This is nice. So you just have to add your picture to it. I hope you know what to do. So tell us what you are trying to achieve, Musa. Admit and tell us what you are trying to achieve.
Okay. Just I didn't get. I was not. I thought just to create a portfolio, just anyone. I don't know how to put my all my details. So I'll try to work on it again.
Okay. Okay, that's so nice. All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So you just update it and build and style it so you can have something very, very nice to work with.
Okay.
All right, anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. Since nobody else has done it, I hope you'll be able to do the next assignment because it will be very, very encouraging for you to be hands-on this. It's going to be very encouraging. Thank you so much for joining the class today. And I'll see you all next week. I'll be in the next class. I'll see you in the next class. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.